Hello everybody and welcome to the Chelsea Fans Channel. Now it's obviously that time again, it's time for Backpage Blues and I'm joined by the lovely Charlie Skillen. Now I know what you're thinking guys, I'm not Rory, Rory's on holiday, he's left us, so I'm stepping in, but you don't mind, do you?
No,
perfect. Of course not, amazing. Anyway, Charlie, there's only one place to start.
Go on, where?
And I'm slightly worried that we are not getting our transfer targets.
Yeah, I mean, you've kind of got every right to be worried, I think. It's becoming clearer and clearer that the targets
we can't get no one.
No, exactly. pretty much.
We're not having the best window.
No, and look, you know, people watched. If you watched last week's Backpage Blues, I talked about Morata and Nangolan and Bonucci, and those are Conte's top targets. But unfortunately, since this, you know, the stuff we've been hearing this week, we're not actually getting any of those.
No.
You know, I think this is symptomatic of us not being in the Champions League. I think, you know, it's symptomatic of players wanting to stay at their clubs, clubs wanting to keep those players. But it's certain that Conte is not really getting the top level players he wants. I'll start with Morata.
Yeah.
Now,
because I did like a top transfers, like who we're most likely to get, and he was one of them.
Yeah, and that was absolutely fair enough. Yeah. But it's come out this week that
he's not going nowhere.
no, exactly.
He might be going somewhere, but he's not coming here. So.
Well, no. I mean, the story of the summer with Morata is that Real Madrid were going to buy him back from Juventus, which they had a clause to do, and then basically sell him to the highest bidder for sort of 65 million. Yeah. And it's always been Chelsea's favourites, and Arsenal kind of kicking around as well. It now turns out that Real Madrid want to keep Morata, and that's something that's come out literally in the last couple of days. So, he's going to kind of be their fourth choice forward behind Bale, Ronaldo, and Benzema, which, you know, if you think is not kind of a real bad place to be. The interesting thing is that it has a lot to do with Paul Pogba's move to Manchester United. Real Madrid, in the last week or so, have declared themselves out of the running for Paul Pogba, allowing Man United a clean run at him. Now, that means that Real Madrid don't need loads of money. They're not going to be making a £100 million signing this summer. Therefore, they don't need the 65 million that would come from buying Morata. They want to keep Morata. Morata wants to stay there. Obviously, Real Madrid, one of the top clubs in the world. Yeah. Why wouldn't you want to stay there? So it doesn't really look like Chelsea are going to be getting him. Our other target, Graziano Pelle, has obviously just off to China to be the 5th highest paid player in the world, which is like nice work if you can get it.
You know, career-wise, he's made a jolly good move there.
If any Chinese papers or YouTube channels want to sign us up, like we'll be over there like a shot.
We'll come over. Yeah. I'm very good at football. It's in my kick-up videos, guys. I'm very good. Yeah, exactly. Okay, look, let's go on to the next then.
Leonardo Bonucci.
Yeah.
Again, you know, it's linked to Paul Pogba. You know, I mentioned this last week. Juventus are going to sell Paul Pogba, but their fans will go absolutely nuts if they sell their two main players. Bonucci is kind of just behind Pogba for their kind of fans.
Yeah.
Now, Juventus are just saying he's not for sale. Bonucci is fairly happy to stay with Juventus. He'd be open to a move to Chelsea purely because he'd be working with Conte again.
Yeah.
But it's just not going to happen at the minute. Now Chelsea have kind of moved on to their next target, which is Koulibaly from Napoli. Oh, I know you did a video about very good one as well. Go and watch it.
Thanks, guys. 6 seconds, all you need to know. I think I covered most stuff. I'm sure I'm missing things.
Yeah, so that's going to be about 45 million. Now Everton are also interested in him, as well as another few clubs. But I think Chelsea are going to be the favourites.
Well, to be fair, I think if I was a player and I was going to go to Everton or Chelsea, fine. We've neither have had the best seasons, but Chelsea's. Yeah, you'd go to Chelsea, wouldn't you?
Yeah, obviously.
Anyway, okay, look, so N'Golo Kante. Now he is one that I'm really excited about, guys, because actually, to be fair, out of all of them, he's proven Premier League success over the last season. Yeah. So why not?
Absolutely. Look, and this, you know,
he wants to come, doesn't he?
Unlike Morata, unlike Bonucci, and unlike, you know, very related issue, unlike Raja Nangolan, who doesn't seem to be. I mean, he seems to be staying at Roma at the minute. N'Golo Kante is that deal is actually very near. Chelsea have already made an official bid. Leicester have to accept the highest offer over 20 million. It's a clause in Kante's contract. And I think once the Nangolan deal kind of fell flat, I think Conte, he's starting his first couple of training sessions at the club this week. Yeah. Moved really, really quickly to sort out a deal for Kante. Kante has given every indication that even though Leicester are in the Champions League and Chelsea aren't, that he wants that move to happen. So that's good. The only club we kind of face competition for Kante is PSG and a Chinese club, but it does seem like Chelsea are the absolute front runners. So that's really good. I think that's something we can take as a massive positive.
Yeah.
And just in terms of Conte as well, This week, I think Conte starts on Wednesday.
How exciting, guys.
That is the squad have been in the past couple of days doing fitness tests and stuff with the coaches. But Conte starts his first official day Wednesday and then faces the press for his first kind of big press conference, a big unveiling on Thursday.
Isn't that going to be strange?
And then yeah, I know. It's
good
mad,
strange. Good
mad,
strange though, guys. Good strange.
And then the whole team fly off to Austria on Friday and play Rapid Vienna on Saturday.
Well,
so it's all kicking off. It's all exciting.
It is. And just before we finish on our little transfer news, this isn't really transfer news, but Willian.
Yeah, he's got a new contract.
He has.
New 4-year deal. Player of the year
last year.
This makes me want
to, come on, let's jump up and down, Charlie.
I know.
Okay,
I'm not
right, just me then, just me. Anyway, no.
Sorry.
Look, guys, Willian was one of the players, well, actually, no, not one of, the only player last season
he
that
was.
I really could say was consistently good. And I think every Chelsea fan would be absolutely devastated if he wasn't staying at Chelsea for the next however many years.
Yeah, well, look, it's great that we're tying these players down to the club. Every indication is that Conte is a big fan of Willian and wants him to start, wide on the kind of right of a 4-2-4 or a 4-4-2.
Yeah.
And
he has to change up system, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
That's exciting
exactly. And he's staying at Chelsea for another 4 years, which takes him up to I think 2021, and it's going to be about 150 a week. So it's like decent money for him as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he's loving life. Don't worry about that. Okay, then look, right now we're going to answer some of your questions, guys. So, Charlie, are you ready for this?
Crack on.
Some very lovely questions today, guys. Thank you very much. So Chelsea HQ says, do you see game time for youth players under Conte?
I do if things are going well. I think, it's the classic scenario. Everyone wants to know, how many youth players are going to play. Everyone wants to see youth players playing. I expect I kind of consider Loftus-Cheek a kind of first team squad member rather than like a youngster coming through. Yeah. So it'd be great to see him get a bit more time. But I mean, Conte's going to be under pressure early doors. I mean, imagine, just argument's sake, he loses 3 games in October and Chelsea are kind of 6th, 7th, 8th.
Yeah.
The questions are already going to be about. I'm not saying they should be or that Chelsea should be acting rashly. I think every Chelsea fan wants to see stability and people given time. But we've seen over the last 10 years, it's not really in any manager's interest to give loads of kids loads of time because the pressure's on. Having said that, it doesn't, as we've discussed, it doesn't look like we're going to be getting our top transfer targets.
No.
So it'd be great to see Conte look to, some of the youth players.
I don't know. I get quite a good vibe with Antonio Conte.
Oh yeah.
I get the vibe, guys, and I actually don't think he's going to be as reluctant as previous managers have, even though he is very strict.
Yeah. No, I think that's absolutely fair enough, and we all saw what he could do with quite a limited squad with Italy. So,
yeah, exactly.
So it'd be really interesting for him to put his mark on these players. I think Bertrand Traore is going to be a big part of the squad.
I love that.
I think Kennedy's going to be a big part of the squad. And it'd be great to see some people like Nat Chalobah finally get a chance. I think he'd be a real Conte player. In fact, go to Joe Tweed's Twitter. Joe Tweed's on Twitter.
Tweeds, of course. Yeah, he comes up with some cracking tweets.
Yeah, and he's written a brilliant article on Chalobah and the potential of him getting a chance. So go and read that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of players, a lot of youngsters last season didn't get a chance. And actually, Kennedy, to be fair,
Kennedy was very good.
He actually could be one of the best in my eyes. I think he'd be one of the best.
Really direct, which is what Conte likes. And because the players who've played in international tournaments aren't back yet, Conte's really going to be kind of having his eye on these players that have been on loan. All those guys are at Cobham at the minute, so he's going to have his eyes on them and the academy players. So he'll kind of get a real feel in the summer and for these pre-season games, which one he wants.
Oh, exciting,
Isn't
guys!
It just, eh?
Okay, right. Next question. Ronnie Forbes says best hair in the squad. Now I was going to say William, but did you not just say that Williams had a haircut?
Well, we did his new contract pictures on the Mail earlier, and it's I don't know. He's had it cut back a bit. I prefer it when it's all a little bit mad.
Anything's better than that thing. What's he called? Fellaini has. He's dyed it like a big
blonde.
It's not blonde. It's a dark, mousy, greyish yellow.
Blonde.
Okay, yeah, one of those.
Yeah. I'll go with William. Our lads are quite kind of clean cut, aren't they?
JT's very clean cut.
That's a bit of a shame we didn't sign.
Ivanovic hasn't really got much hair.
No.
That's an insult, darling.
All our lads are getting a bit old, aren't they?
Exactly, yeah. So, William, there you go, best hair in the squad.
Well done, mate.
Okay, and then Will for Claremont says, thoughts on kits. Now, actually,
go on.
I'm going to start this off, guys.
Go on.
I've seen the away one. I'm not really feeling it.
Isn't it disgusting?
It's
absolutely minging.
It's not the best. I've seen better in my day.
I've seen... Yeah, I don't think I've seen worse.
Me and Charlie are like, it's terrible, really.
I honestly think it's the worst Premier League kit that's been released.
It's not that great, but you know, you never know. Like, remember when that Man United one came out years and years ago, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's horrible."
And now it's like a cult classic.
Yeah, exactly. So you never know, guys. We
You'll see people wearing it in clubs in like 20 years.
Okay, I don't think I'll be doing that, but we may warm to it. So let's just keep the faith. Okay, and then last question is from Don. Which Chelsea squad did you most relate to? Charlie, you can go first.
This is a bit biased, maybe, because I was so young, this team I grew up with. But I think the team of the late 90s, people like Zola, Di Matteo, Leboeuf, Dennis Wise. I mean, those are my absolute heroes. So I'm going to say those. And I also think there's a point to be made. Like back then, you could rock up to Harlington, which is where Chelsea used to train. You could rock up there any time. You know, you kick the ball back to the players. They'd always come and like see you for photos and autographs and stuff. Which I think there's a real lack of access now. Like you're getting into Cobham's, like getting into Fort Knox. Like you're not allowed past like a load of gates. And signings is like restricted to like official events in a club shop.
Yeah.
But back then you could just walk up to like Rude Hullet or whatever and get stuff signed.
That's great.
So it was like a little bit more personal, I think. But those are kind of the players that I will always identify with the most, I think.
Yeah, I definitely say that they're the reason I support Chelsea. My dad obviously drilled it into my head, and these are the players, and showed me like old videos and clips of photos, things like that. But for me, it would be obviously Ashley, Frank, Didier, JT all together, because and Michael Essien and that sort of era, that was brilliant for me, because that was when I was, you know, like going to the games all the time, travelling up from where I used to live and going like all the time. So yeah, I miss those days. I'm sure we all miss those days.
Definitely our best ever team, that one.
Exactly. And I do feel like Willian and players like Kennedy, we can create that again. Yeah. Just gonna take a little bit of time, guys.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, look, that's it, isn't
Happy
it?
days.
That's it for this
Who
week,
needs Rory,
guys.
eh?
Oh yeah, I know. We're amazing. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think of this transfer window. Comment below if we've missed anything. Do you think there's somebody we should be signing? Anybody you're disappointed we haven't got? Let us know, and we will see you all next week for another edition of Black Page Blues. See you soon. Hello everybody and welcome to Chelsea Fans Channel. Now, as you all know, the transfer rumours are currently flying around all over the place, and we are apparently interested in signing Napoli centre-back Koulibaly. Here is all you need to know about him in 60 seconds.